What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one, I'm going to break down what's going on with Tesla, SPY, the QQQ, and many tickers out there. I'm going to talk about what's going on with the overall market, what news is coming out involving Jerome Powell, and also what news is coming out affecting Tesla that's causing this thing to sell off in the pre-market as of right now. Before I break anything down about all this information, let me just mention a couple of things real quick. Firstly, I'm not a financial planner. Make sure you take none of this as financial advice whatsoever. And also don't forget about the Moomoo link. The offer ends very soon. Deposit $100 and you're guaranteed 5 free stocks with a $100 cash reward. The offer ends very soon. Check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. Tesla is down another 3% in the pre-market, testing support at this 250 area. It is chopping around quite a bit. And this is happening because of more negative news that just came out. We're seeing news about how a longtime Tesla bull that's well known as Adam Jones, has downgraded Tesla again, saying that it's overvalued in a way. And he's saying that it's very important to just secure profits. This is the same thing that Barclays said. The news is still circulating about Barclays, and many analysts are now starting to follow in that trend, especially after Cathie Wood announced that she was selling some shares. Now, with all of that coming out, this is having a negative effect on Tesla. So we're going to be watching Tesla very carefully with all of this noise. On top of that, if you look at futures, they also sold off a bit after Powell was being quite hawkish yesterday. And the market may be anticipating some very, very similar words from Powell going into today. On top of that, the futures slid for the fourth day, of course, and the market's a little bit red in the pre-market as we have more anticipation of Powell being hawkish, and we had some data that came out which wasn't actually too bad. Waller is going to be giving a speech. I think he already gave a speech, and then we had initial jobless claims at 264,000 versus the forecast of 271,000. So it was a little bit lower than what the forecast was. Besides that, almost everything was as expected and very close to expectations. And then let me just remind you guys that we have Bowman speaking basically a couple of minutes before Powell. But the biggest thing for today is going to be Jerome Powell speaking again. He's going to be speaking at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern time. This is going to affect Tesla and the entire market. I also want to remind you that he's going to be speaking in front of the Senate Banking Committee. When he spoke about the banks yesterday, this caused the market to sell off a bit. So we have to be very careful. If Powell says more hawkish things, this could slow things down. We have Mester giving a speech, more like Holmes data that's coming out. And besides that, I think we have Barkin speaking near the end of the day. But the biggest thing is going to be Powell. Be ready for that. He's going to be speaking in front of the Senate Banking Committee this time at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern time, 30 minutes after the market opens. Now let's talk about the market, what's going on. Tesla's chopping around this 250 support as of right now, going back and forth and back and forth. If you are bullish on Tesla and you believe it's going to get a bounce off 250, you're going to be watching resistance at 252.5, 254.25, 255.75, 257.75. We have lots of resistance at all these different zones. Not really major resistance, but it's worth noting because Tesla's in a tight range and all of these could act as resistance. And then we have 260 to be watching for. So basically, if it breaks one of these, it could go to the next level. And these are the levels you need to be watching for. There's also 261.83, then 262.5, which have acted as previous resistance in the past and very important zones we've seen historically. If Tesla breaks below 250, that's going to be quite a bearish signal, but we have a decent support at around this like 247 area. So we're going to be watching to see if Tesla forms kind of like a double bottom like formation, because when I zoom out on the chart, you can see there was another instance where Tesla closed and bounced like right here at this 247 area and got a really nice bounce. So we're going to be watching if we could test 247. It's very possible, since we have this imbalance here, that could happen if we break below 250. So that's going to be one support. We also have support at 246.84, 245.75-ish, 244.5, the 242 area, then 240 if all of those end up breaking. And if 240 fails us, we're most likely going to come all the way down to 235, which is where the gap is. So for now, Tesla looks very mixed. The technicals aren't really telling us too much. It just looks bearish, just continuing to drop. But you could argue there's a possible like bullish falling wedge that is developing. You could make that argument. You could draw it out like this, say that, oh, Tesla has this wedge. Maybe it's a little hard to see with all my lines. I'm sorry about that. But anyways, you could argue that we have this potential bullish falling wedge developing, and it's going to get a bounce very soon. You could argue that it is a real possibility. Not a guarantee, but it is, once again, possible. And we'll just have to wait and see on this. Once again, just try to be as open-minded as possible in looking at this. I do apologize about all these lines. I mean, it looks kind of messy at the same time. But anyways, it doesn't matter. Uh, for Tesla, what's going to happen in the morning is it's going to be very choppy in the morning, okay? Powell is going to be speaking. We're going to see lots of sideways price action, maybe some moments where it could see some spontaneous selling because of what Powell says. He's been more hawkish lately, so be very careful. But historically, I just want to remind you at the same time, uh, sometimes when Powell speaks 2 days in a row, or at least usually, the first day tends to be more volatile and the second day tends to be not as bad. So I'm really hoping something like that happens, but there is a risk of him being hawkish. So that's why I'm going to prepare you guys for lots of choppy price action, maybe some downside when he speaks. When he's done speaking, there's an increased probability that the market's going to try to get a rebound. And I just want to remind you guys about that. If the market truly does get some kind of rebound by the time he finishes speaking, watch these resistance levels. And then we're going to see what happens tomorrow, because I did tell you guys that there's an increased probability that something could change in the markets tomorrow with all the shorts expiring for a possible squeeze. It's a possibility, but don't simply trade based off that notion. You have to be watching support and resistance anyways, and you have to be very conscientious and very careful with risk management nonetheless. Finally, for SPY, if it breaks down, you're going to be watching support around this 433 area. That's going to be the next major support below 434. If 433 fails, watch 432, which is where we have an imbalance, and then we have 430 after that. If it pushes to the upside, if SPY tries to bounce, you're going to be watching resistance at 435. If it breaks that, then the next major resistance is going to be between this entire like 436 to 437 zone. There's a lot of resistance there. It's like 436.25, 436.38, 436.64, and then 437 flats. Lots of resistance there. If it breaks 437, it's going to go all the way up to 438, potentially 440 if that breaks. But for now, watch support and resistance. Right now, it's going to be very sideways, very choppy with Powell speaking, and there's no telling what he's going to say, so be very careful. And then later on, when he's done speaking, we could see the market bounce a bit. So just watch these levels for the QQQ. If this thing wants to push up, watch 361 as resistance, 362.3, 363.5, 364.3, and this entire 364 zone 366 afterwards, followed by 368 and 370 as resistance. If it breaks down, watch 360 as major support, which is where the 200 EMA happens to be. And that is the psychological level and historical support for the QQQ. If 360 fails us, watch 359, 357.5, 355.5, 354, followed by 352 to 350 after that as major support zones. In the morning, just like SPY, it's likely to just trade sideways, not really do a whole lot. And then Powell may cause lots of nuances. So be careful with Powell, guys. I just can't predict what he's going to say. It's very tricky sometimes. I don't know if he's going to try to like keep his mouth shut this time or if he's going to try to be more hawkish. We just don't know. It all depends on what he's asked and how he responds. So please be careful with Powell. For now, just watch the market. Is the market going to get a big bounce by Friday? It's a possibility. It's very likely, in my opinion, but not a guarantee. And do not solely trade based off that notion. I'm trying to tell you, do not just like go all in assuming that's going to happen. You have to watch your technicals at the same time. You have to manage risks and be very careful nonetheless. Not financial advice, by the way. All right, guys. So thank you all for listening. Do what you have to do. Remain calm, cool, and collected. I will talk more about like the future updates later on. And for now, watch support and resistance and get ready for Powell. It's going to be very interesting. And until then, thank you all so much for listening. Have a great day, everyone. Market to the moon as the long term is still incredibly bright alongside Tesla. And peace out.